Welcome to TechBrothersIT. In this video, we are going to learn how to split large shareable data into multiple Excel sheets on single Excel file by using SSIS package. So think about a scenario where you have 2.5 million records and you would like to split maybe 500,000 records on each of the sheet. So in this case, you will be creating one Excel file with 5 sheets. I have a small table and it has only 12 records. Think about that if I would like to split the 3 records on each of the sheets. So I will create an Excel file and there would be 4 Excel sheets and the 3 records will be on each of the sheet. We can change it. Let's say tomorrow you would like to have 6 records on each of the sheet. That's absolutely fine. And or maybe you would like to have 5 records on each of the sheet, so you can do that. In case where we would need 5, as we have 12, so first 2 sheets will have 5 and 5, the rest of the last third sheet will have only 2 records. Let's go ahead and create this package and experiment. Now open SSDT SQL Server Data Tools, come to the SSIS packages, right click here, new SSIS package. Let's create some variables so we can change the value of these variables by using the configuration in different environments such as QA, UAT and production, as well as if we would like to change the number of record count on each of the sheet, we should be able to do it dynamically by using the configuration and variable values. I'm going to use the folder, source folder. That's where our actually I will say destination folder, and that's where we would like to put the file. And go back to the folder structure. Here I have a destination folder. That could be any name, doesn't really matter. Whatever the name you decide, that's fine. I'm deleting the existing files. Come back to the SSDT SQL Server Data Tools, paste your folder path here. Then what the name of the Excel file you would like to create. In this case, I'm going to go with TechBrothersIT. That's the name I would like to have for my Excel file. The date time part will be added to it, so that's good. Every time we run our package, it should create a new Excel file. Sorry, here Excel sheet name, Excel sheet is Excel file name. That's really confusing. Excel file name, sheet name, this. So I'm gonna go TechBrothersIT. This is very early morning, so I got up and I said, okay, before even office work start, I should make some video. And now row count per sheet, that's going to be string. Let's say we start with the 3 rows per sheet, and the last thing we need a table from where we need to extract those rows. Let's call this one table name. Now this is going to be string as well. I'm going to use this table what I have here, dbo.total sale. This is in TechBrothersIT database, so we'll create the connection there. We are all set for the variables now. Next we will be creating connection manager, as we need to read the data from SQL Server table. Right click here in the connection managers, go to new edu.net connection and delete the existing one. Let's create the new. Click here, it will get us the SQL Server instances on local machine or on the network. So this is what I'm going to use. I have TechBrothersIT test connection. Hit OK. Hit OK. Let's rename this one. So Amir PC SQL 2016, that's really not great name, and when you will create the configuration, this name you don't want to put that there. So I would like to have something meaningful that tells you like, okay, this is connection manager and DB connection. That's better, and then you will have your database name. In your case, it will be your name, maybe customer sales, whatever you have. Let's bring a script task in the control flow pan and open it. We will be using these variables. I'm using a Visual C# for the scripting. In a script task, you can use the Visual Basic. The code I'm going to provide is written in a C# though. So click here and we add those variables. So let's user variable. Here it would be nice if we can just click on the name and it will sort, so we name the user variable come on top, and then we don't have to go all the way up and down to find the user variables. So we have 4 user variables all set. hit on edit script. This is gonna open a window where we can write our C# code. While it's opening this editor window, we can go to TechBrothersIT.com, and I need to show you a few things. Here, once you are on TechBrothersIT, you will be going to the SSIS video tutorial. Once you are there, you will be going to the script task, and under the script task, I have Excel source and destination script task dynamic. You will be going to the last actually second last article here, how to split large data table data into multiple Excel sheets on single Excel file by using SSIS package. So you will click there, and then I have written the post. If you are in the office, you can't watch the video, fine, you can follow the post and create the package from here. I'm going to copy the script from here. So first of all, we need some namespaces, as we will be using different functions or methods from these namespaces. Let's go back to the editor, and here under the namespaces region, we are going to hit enter and paste. I added system.io, as I will be reading some file information. Maybe I want to delete the existing file in this case. So that's where I can use that system.data.oledb. As I'm writing to the Excel, I need this namespace. As I'm reading the data from a SQL server, I need system.data.sql client namespace. Now come further down here, let's delete this part, because I have already included this part in the code, so you don't need this. Go back to the Tech Brothers and copy this whole thing. Let's copy all the way till here, copy, and go back to the editor and paste it right here where it says public void main, and add your code here. So that's where we need to paste our code. Let's save it and build it. If there would be any error, we should see that error. Couple of things to notice from here, it did not throw us any error, so that's a great thing, but there are some things we need to consider by ourselves. These variable names, you see that we are declaring some local variables here and then using the SSIS variables. Why? Because I don't want to type this whole thing dts.variable everywhere in my code. So I want to only use these variables. So I created these variables, and using setting the value of these variables by using SSIS variables. First of all, I'm saying string date time. So I'm creating a string type variable, and saving the year, month, date, and hour, and minutes, and second in that. So I can use to create Excel file with the date time. I'm adding this part above the try, so I can use this in the catch block for error files as well. If error happen, I need to create that error. So I will create this with the same date time what I'm using for Excel. So it will always tell me, okay, this Excel it was processing, and that's the error file in case error happen. Now we are in the try block. We are starting reading the data and loading the data to the Excel, and if it fails, it will go to the catch block. I will show you all the way. Now here I was saying, even the build is succeeded, we need to compare our variable names with our variable name we are using here. See, folder path, now table name, record count per sheet. So let's take a look what we have. First of all, we need Excel file name. Okay, so I have a Excel file name, that's fine. Instead of the next part, I have a folder path here. So in this case, I have created destination folder. So that's totally different variable. If you will use the same different variable and use the same script, it's gonna fail. So let's change that destination folder. Why I'm doing it? I could have just created the same variable, because I want to tell you, even if the build succeeded, everything works fine, these variables can create problem. So you have to come back and match your variable name exactly what you have created in SSIS package. Row count per sheet. See, here I created the row count per sheet, and there we have different. So go back here, see, row count per sheet, that's what we need. Row count, actually CNT per sheet. So now pretty much we are all set. We have table name, destination folder, and Excel file name. Let's take a last look. Excel file name, row count per sheet. Okay, so I need to correct the spelling for row count per sheet, and the destination folder, row count CO. Okay, great. Now here what I'm doing, I declare these variables and save in the values. This is a, I took this one as a row count was taken as a string, so I'm converting to the integer here. Great. And then what I'm saying, row count per sheet decimal. Why I'm doing decimal? Because let's go back to SQL, and if we have a select 12 divided by 5, so now it is going to give us 2. It's not giving us any decimal value, so we need exact value. So I converted this number to the decimal. Now you see what happened. Now we got the exact decimal number, and from here I'm using there is one function we call the ceiling. So we will once you put that, it's going to give us the above value. Let's say anything you have 2.01 or something, it's going to give you 3, because now in this case, let's say we have 12 total records. We are dividing into the multiple sheets, and each sheet should have 5 records. First 2 sheets will have, yes, and we need actually 3 sheets. So by doing it, I am creating a number of sheets I need to create. So that's the thing. If I will just use divide the total number of this is the number of records I want on each sheet, this is the total number. If I will just divide, I will get 2. So what will happen with 2 records I have in this case? So first 2 sheets will be fine, each will have 5 records, but the third one, there would be no third one. So I need to create that. I convert it to decimal, and then I use the ceiling to give me 3 sheets, especially in these cases when the numbers are not exact dividable. So let's go ahead and take a look further. Here I'm saying Excel file name because I'm using Excel file name plus the date time part, so I set the value for this one. Now OLEDB connection, let's OLEDB connection, new OLEDB connection, creating a new instance. Okay, command OLEDB command, new OLEDB command. I will use this one later. And here I'm constructing the connection string for Excel. So I'm saying provider Microsoft AC dot OLEDB dot 12.0, and the data source is a folder path plus Excel file. That's where we would like to create our Excel file. Okay, extended properties, some we have a header, yes. Now drop the Excel file if exist. So in this case you will ask, okay, you are creating the file with the date, time, and hours, minute, and everything. So till at the second you are not going to have that file. That's absolutely right. But if tomorrow your requirement does change, they say, okay, we want to have the package that can keep running every hour, but if the file is there, it should delete it, but leave the file for each of the day. So in that case you will just remove this part and leave the year, month, and day. It will come back and drop that file and create a new one. So every time it is going to override it. So that's one of the thing I left it there. And also you can run your file multiple times in a day. You're not going to run in a second level, I know that, but still, like, there are scenarios where you will end up in this case with a small change. If you don't want it, okay, fine, delete it. So this is not going to hurt. If you have it there, fine. In cases your scenario will change, you can use it. Now we are using my ADO.NET connection. Okay, we have already the connection created, that's called DB underscore connection underscore TechBrothersIT. Why I did not use the DB connection as it is? Because I want to tell you, even the build succeeded and everything is just great, you need to take a look on your connection manager name by yourself. You have to fix it. So whatever you are using in my script, that's not going to work for you. You should use your connection manager name, what you have created. And in this case, we have created a DB underscore connection underscore TechBrothersIT. Read distinct group values for each Excel sheet. Now this is where, remember I was saying use select ceiling count star. So get all the count from the table, divide with that number, and get the rounded value above. Let's say in this case we were getting 2.4. So ceiling is going to give us the whole number. That will be like next number is 3, right? So if you have a 1, in this case, let me put the ceiling here. So if you will divide with, let's say 7, so it will normally, what happened, let me copy this one. use this thing here. Okay, so now you see the difference here. With 1.71, when you divide 12 with 7, so that's what we get. With the ceiling, it is going to go to the next whole number. So that's the purpose. Like with the records, yes, we have total 12, 7 records per sheet. What will happen with the 5 records? We need 2 sheets. So that's why I'm using ceiling here one more time. Okay, and then I'm putting a decimal here and saying loop counter. So I'm kind of looping and create the loop so we can use that. Here, get the count of sheets that need to be created. So once we have this query, I need to run this query and get the value in the loop counter. So that's where our query is going to run and save the value in the loop counter. Now we are saying string sheet name. That's what I would like to create: sheet 01, sheet 1, sheet 2, sheet 3, and all that. In your case, let's say if you would like to say TechBrother sheet. So if you would like to use that, you can use it. Your choice, whatever you want to use. Tech sheet or a sales sheet. So you can provide the name whatever you like. Here, see one more thing. You could have created a variable and use as a sheet name. I didn't use it, so I have to come here if I need to make a change. If you will have a variable, you can change it by using configuration anytime. So I'm saying here integer start count 0, and then say integer end count record count per sheet. So that's where I'm setting the values. Why I'm setting the value? I have total 12 records. So what I need to do, I need to grab the records from here. I don't have any really. I have ID here, but I don't want to use the ID. Maybe tomorrow I would not have ID in that table. So tables can be different, columns can be different. I want to build something dynamic. I don't care whatever the column 2 or 3 or 4 there is ID or there is no ID. I want to create my own number here. So I used, let me go back here and let me copy this whole thing. I'm using CTE, and with the row number function, I'm creating my own row. So let's go back here, paste, and take a look on this from table. So let's say this is the table. I know it is the time consuming, but I have to explain all that. This is very important, and I have seen tons of requirement for this scenario. So here, see, I am creating a row number. So from here, once I have the row number, I can divide this sheets according to this row number. Now I know I have the count, like how many sheets I need. Then here I can use that as a start counter and end counter. So between the record, let's say I'm starting with the 1 until 3. So that's my starting, like, okay, start from 0, go to 3, fine, and less than equal to 3, fine. Next, when it comes, okay, start with the greater than 3 and less than equal to 6. So this is where we are building that. You see that I am using these variables to build the entire SQL. First I have this, I added the row number, then in the where clause I'm getting the values on each of the loop different for each of the sheet. So go back here, and now you see that I have these two variables. I have to set the values, increase the values or set the values for these variables on the next loop. So you will see here I'm setting their value at the end of that sheet. So I'm saying start row count was 0 at that point, and now it is the record count per sheet, and end row count is the record count per sheet. So once I add these values, this was starting with 0. This was not starting with 0. This was already, let's say 3 or 5 or whatever number we have given. Then it is going to keep adding and build our where clause for the next sheet. So it will start with the first sheet and then keep building and keep writing. Now once we have our SQL build, we are running that SQL and filling the data set. Then what we need, now the data is in the memory, we need to write that data to the SQL sheet. We need a list of the columns, because in Excel we have to create a sheet first and then load the data. So here I'm getting the list of the columns and putting the parentheses around. So if there is space for the column name, it will take care of that part. And here, okay, I'm saying I need every column of my Excel sheet is going to be text type. You can have nvark or vark or whatever works best for you. And once the column list is built, I'm building a create table statement. So once I have the create table statement, I can execute it. So these are the, we are saying, okay, OLEDB connection, use the connection string is equal to connection string, open the connection, and then this command should use the connection, OLEDB connection, and finally we are running the query. Now once the table is created, that will be our sheet, and here what we are doing, we are writing the data. So we will be looping through all the records what we have in the data set in memory, and then we are building insert statements here and writing those values. So this part is going to write that till here. Once that's done, now next the values will be set for start row count and end row count, and that will be used for the next query right here. And also it will create a new sheet as the loop count is going to be increased, and we will be keep writing to the new sheet, so that till it does not end. Let's review this quickly. So we declared the variables, the local variables, so we can use the SSIS variables to set the values for these. We have a Excel connection and telling like, okay, we will be using OLEDB command for this connection. We are building our connection string for Excel. We are using our SQL Server connection, ADO.NET we have created. Here we are building the query for the distinct count for the sheets. Depending upon the total record of a table divided by the record count per sheet we have decided. Then once we have the count, we need to run that query and get the count. Here we are saying, okay, what would be the sheet name? Then we start count with 0. That's the like, okay, starting with the 0 record, as we have created the row number, so we can use that. And end row count is the record count what we have defined for the sheet. These variable will be used in our select query to give us the record for each of the sheet. Here I'm looping through. So we know that all the total sheet number we got it already in the loop count. So it's just a for loop and saying, okay, till it is not less than or equal to the loop count. So keep looping. On each of the loop we are using different starting and ending row count, as we have created the row number by using CTE and common table expression, and we are using row number function over ordering by really nothing, order by 1, because we don't really want to use any column, we just want to create the row numbers. So I use that one, fill the data in the memory, okay, make a connections, make a column list, so we can use that in creating our Excel sheet. That's done here, and then finally we are writing all the records from that data set to the Excel sheet, and finally we are incrementing the row count, that's a starting and ending, so we can use for the next sheet back here to write into the next sheet. So that's good. Here is our catch block in case error happen and all that. This is where we are going to end up. We are using folder path variable. See here, that's where we should be using the destination folder. In the next videos, actually I kind of got better, and I created another variable called log folder. So you can create your log folder if you like, and use that variable value here. Let's say you have a folder here for the log files, so where you would like to create the log file. Okay, provide that path, create a variable, and use it the same way we used the destination folder here, and Excel file name, and then we are adding a date time and the .log. So that's the log file will be created. Let's save it. I know it's a lot of talk. You guys don't like me when I talk a lot, so I hope this will help somebody who's struggling with this scenario. So I'm going to start a package. Let's see, it will fail or success. Okay, failed. That's good thing. So we need to debug now. Come back here, go to the folder, and that's where we are creating our log in the destination folder. That's where actually we need to create our Excel file as well. So open it, and now element cannot be found in collection. That's great. So we know that some of the variable or maybe connection manager is missing or has incorrect name. So you see here variable that get item, that means the variable is not there. So what I want to do, we need to compare this one more time. So here I have destination folder, I have this record count per. So let me do one thing. if I will use okay, let's put these ones in copy. I'm gonna open a notepad. Most of the time we have two monitors in offices, and it is much more easy to work with file name, and we have row count per sheet. I really like when you guys leave the comments and say something about it, like okay, good job or bad job, or even a worse job. It really helps. I mean, in a way, it will improve my way of teaching, and I can see like what people are expecting. So if you feel like okay, this guy is not doing great job here, okay, this can be done better way, please let me know. I will try my best to change that. Okay, destination folder. So we have destination folder, we have table name, fine, and Excel file name, and we have row count per sheet, Do you guys see anything here? DB count TechBrothersIT. I really don't see anything. It is complaining about it. Excel file name, fine. Destination folder, and now we are humans, right? Sometimes we can't see the things are right there. Per sheet, row count per sheet. So this is where it is getting really tricky, like okay, what exactly we are making, I don't know. Excel file name one more time, like okay, let's don't save, cancel, come back here, and let me see, destination folder. So destination folder, Excel file name, row count per sheet, table name. You might be already know what is the error, because I might not be able to see, and you guys are able to see. So we are using 4 variables, fine, we have them right here. So row count per sheet, fine, and here let me try to minimize and see if I can compare them parallel. Come on, later, I don't want to do this now. Okay, let's make this one a little bigger so we can compare in parallel. Okay, Excel file name, that looks fine to me. Destination folder, okay, and row count per sheet, that looks fine, and table name, that looks fine. Now the only tech connection, I really don't want to spend a whole lot of time here. I'm sorry, really, like okay, let's go back and see if I can use some breakpoints. So I'm gonna hit here, and let's see if that helps. And this is the only things we are using here. So save it, close it, hit OK. I know you guys are excited to see how it works and how it is gonna load that number of records on each of the sheet from the table. You don't want to debug all these things, but this is part of that. To be straightforward, I'm literally like my eyes can't see that, like what error I'm making here. So let's see if that helps. So we are going to figure that out. This once you put the breakpoints, what happened? It does stop on those places, and you can literally see the things. Okay, this is where the error is, but you need to remove those breakpoints later. And if you run it, and it does take like a few seconds when we run it, because it will open that window for you and you can continue. So let's see if this is fine, and we can hit continue. They had first one passed, second one passed, table this row count per sheet. Okay, so row count per sheet is the problem. That's the problem. So row count per sheet, let's copy from here and go exactly, open our script and take a look. Row count, see, I knew that. I made a mistake, big mistake, COUNT, right? And here I have COUNT, fine, but there I have CO, I am missing you. Fine, but that's no big deal. I know you guys like me, and it's not. It was good practice. So we are gonna remove U from here, or one thing we can do, we can say okay, COUNT per sheet, fine, and you learn something good lesson from here, like okay, you can't make a mistake with the spelling and all that of these variable, and COU count per sheet. Now if we make a change here in the variable, we have to come back to the script and kind of re-add that one, because that's a totally new variable. So let's go back here and find that one. We are getting too close here. Okay, now it should be just fine. See, we learned a lot of ways to debug our package, and this scripting really did help. So okay, what exactly is happening now? We are gonna go back and take a look here. Specific cast is not valid. So which cast it is talking about? Now this part, let's see, let's go back here. Now we are going to debug. I am sure I ran this one on my other computer, there was no problem, and now we are getting into problems. Here we have a string. Let's say what we have here. Let me see the post, because sometimes we get errors. Okay, so okay, see, I was actually using the row count per sheet as a number, so that's fine. I'm gonna use as a number, and I don't want to use as a string here, so let's use this one as an integer. Fine, we should be fine now. I'm sorry, if I was using as a string here, then what I should do, I should convert inside. So I did not convert that one. If you I was talking about that, if you are using it as an integer here, you have to kind of come back here. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So if you are creating your SSIS variable as an integer, when you come and use here, you have to explicitly tell it here. So okay, I want the integer 32 record count. I created this variable, and this variable with the strings you don't have to do it, but with the integer you have to pass this conversion. So that's what I was talking about. So still we are using in the integer, so that's fine. Close it. I'm really sorry for taking time on this one. I had no plan to take time, but these are the small things that are coming up automatically. Now this time it should not fail. I'm gonna be really disappointed. So it passed though. That's great. Let's go back and take a look here. Now we should be coming to the destination folder. One more thing. See, destination folder has no Excel file. Let's go one step back, and it is here. So you have destination folder, and it is going into the one parent folder. Yeah, sheet 1 is created, sheet 2, sheet 3, and sheet 4 records are coming correct. All looks good, but this sheet should be in the destination, so that's not there. Why? Because here at the end of the destination folder we have to put backslash. Now let's go ahead and run it. Okay, that's fine. Now we should go back here, and the Excel file is there. So now you see that we have Excel 1, 2, and 3. Each one has 3 records, because there was 12 records, and we want to have only 3 records per sheet. Now if I will go with 5 records, I'm gonna run the package. This time it should create only 3 sheets. Completed successfully. Now we have 3 sheets, so 5 records, 5 records, and 5 records. Sorry, 3 records. I'm really sorry, 2 records, because we have 5 records here, right here. That was the first was the header, so 5 records here, and then finally we have 2 records, and 1 was header. Now if we will go above that, we can do it. So let's say we would like to have only one or 2 sheets, so we can go, let's say I will go with 9 record count per sheet. Now if I'm gonna run it, it will create only 2 sheets, so it just worked fine. Now this part is more playing, and you can see that 9 records, and here we see that only 3 records. Now if you would like to go with the one, you can always put 12 or 11, sorry, 12 as that's the maximum number we have here. So your choice. Thanks very much for watching this video. I will put the link in the description for the script, so you can go from there, and just make sure you use the exact same variable names I have used in the script. That's how you will not make mistakes. But it was good learning. I like that, experimenting and showing you guys things, how to fix it, how to find the problems, and as the beginners this really helps. So if you're expert, you just need to copy and paste the code. You don't need to even walk through, but it's a good idea to learn, and maybe this will open a new way for you to think of a different scenario. You can use some code from here and build a new scenario. All right then, thanks, and I will see you guys in the next video.